Hi, I'm Cass, and this is my 1 credit clear of Funky Jet, an arcade game by Mitchell and Data East. I'll be honest, I don't know if Data East just published it or if it was a co-development deal, but anyway, it's a game they made. How's that little demo showing? You got a jetpack, you got boxing gloves, you fly around, you hit enemies. The A button, the first button, button 1, whatever you want to call it, punches enemies. You can hold up or down to punch them up or down. Button 2 makes you do that little spin thing that I just did, which will hit an enemy nearby and throw them behind you. It's kind of the equivalent of grabbing someone and throwing them behind you in a beat 'em up, is you just hit them with a B button, throw them the other way. It is presented like a single screen platformer. You know, like a Bubble Bobble or one of those kinds of games where you clear out the screen of enemies, go to the next screen. Except, there we go, come on, get them. Yeah. Except only the enemy's platform. You just fly around with full free shmup style movement. There we go. Got that out. And if you punch enemies, they go flying into other enemies. And let out a bunch of power-ups and things like that. You have one power-up which makes you move faster, one power-up which gives you more damage and a bigger hitbox. I've got both of them right now. You can tell because my boxing gloves are pink and my shoes. That means I'm fully powered up. And then there are those little things that I have 2 of underneath my health bar right now. Those are like bomb fragments from... There we go, there's 2 more of them there. There we go. You get 5 of those and a bomb immediately spawns. Except the weird thing about a bomb immediately spawning is that, like, there's a lot of times in this game where you are just doing cleanup, where you've, like, taken out all the enemies that matter and you're not really in danger, so you don't want a bomb to spawn. Like right now, I want a bomb to spawn... There we go. I want a bomb to spawn in the boss fight, which is coming up. So I pick up the 5th one after the stage finishes, which causes the bomb to not spawn until now. Okay, there we go. Grab that. This is what a bomb looks like. You just give him the old Bart Simpson. Spin around, you know. You swing your arms, you can just move around however you want, and if enemies happen to walk into it, it's their own fault. And that's the first boss. So you can do the first 6 stages in any order you want, Mega Man style, which is appropriate because I've been told this game was designed by Akira Kitamura, the designer of Mega Man 1 and 2. So I guess it makes sense that they got the old little Mega Man Psycho, pick your stage order. I mean, I know it's sometimes random in Psycho games, you know what I mean. Whee, doink. The items that spawn when you hit an enemy depend on how big the combo is. I think my understanding is you hit one enemy into another enemy, get like a 2-hit KO combo, you get one of those bomb fragments. More fragments than that, you start getting the heals and that kind of thing. Or the health refills, whatever you want to call them. These enemies here, they take a ton of hits, they take 9 hits I think. Whee, doink. Finish the stage by hitting that enemy into that other enemy. I'll be honest, it didn't really matter how I cleared that stage. Like, once you've taken out the dangerous enemies, there's a lot of just walk around and clean up the enemies. You're not in any real danger, you just have to do this to continue, which I guess is kinda how all of these games work. So, you know, right then I had a bunch of opportunities to collect my 5th bomb fragment and spawn a bomb, but what's the point? I'd rather just come into the next stage with 4 out of 5 bomb fragments if I need them, because I didn't need a bomb there. It's easy to clear up. And yeah, there's one of these segments before each boss. When the enemies are in groups of 2 like that. Oops, there we go. You can hit one into the other, get some bomb fragments, and you probably want to go into the boss with 4 or 5 bomb fragments, depending on whether or not you want a bomb right at the start of the fight. This one you can go either way, it doesn't really matter. I'm deciding whether or not to take it, and I think, yeah, might as well. I should say I do all the stages from hardest to easiest because they scale the bomb health. So, you know, this is stage 5, but I'm doing it second. You know, I did stage 6 first, out of 6. And then, yeah, let's pick up that bomb. I would have rather held on to that bomb for later, but they despawn after like 10 seconds, so you gotta use them while you can. But yeah, because the later stages tend to have harder bosses, I just do them earlier, so get them out of the way, and because they have less health. And you figured out how you fight this boss, you just look at it and you're like, oh yeah, I get it. A lot of the bosses in this game, there are 2 of them, and even though it looks like they have a shared health bar, that's just a visual thing in the HUD at the top center. They have their own individual health bars, so you know, if you take out one, they disappear. It's not guaranteed to have both of them alive till the end of the fight. The only thing you really need to worry about in this fight is accidentally letting too many enemies spawn. Especially those guys there, the green guys with the pipes, because they have very, 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 very strong horizontal attacks. Big disjointed attacks. You kind of want to avoid fighting them horizontally if you can. And that's it, that's the fight. So those bosses do eventually time out if you don't take them out fast enough, but it's a long, long, long time. I haven't done the math to see how much you should milk those for score if you're playing for score. I don't bother playing for score, I just play for like enough scoring to get 2 extends. That's about it. Huh. These guys here with the shades, they jump around and they do like sweeps left and right on the ground, so you want to stay away from their foot level when they're attacking, but honestly, again, not that much of a threat. Now that I think about it, the only 2 enemy types that are really a threat outside of boss fights are those big guys with the like metal arm. You want to duck under their arm attacks unless they're crouching, in which case you want to fly over them. Or, you know, just fight them from above or below where they can't attack you. And those guys are the pipes, who again, you want to just fight from above or below. This stage is easier if you go over here. Just push everyone over from the side, there you go. I didn't really need to take that bomb power up there, but I thought, fuck it, may as well. I'll probably recharge enough bomb fragments in time for the boss. Yeah, there we go. So I just need a couple more. And this boss you don't really need a bomb for anyway. Those health refills. There we go. Don't need them, but you get 1,000 points for each one, may as well. What you may have been thinking if you're watching this is, this game looks really easy. You know, you got a health bar. If you get hit, it's dropping all of these health refills constantly. Where does the challenge come from? So, where the challenge comes from, and you hopefully won't see this till towards the end of this run, if I remember rightly. I think I do pretty good for most of this run, except for the end. Oh, sorry, yeah, I should mention that, just got a 1-up. My understanding is that if you do a big combo and you've hit the score threshold for the next 1-up, it will spawn a 1-up. And I think the score thresholds are 400k and 1 million, I think? Don't quote me on that one. I play as if that's the case, and it seems to work fine. Okay, there we go. So the difficulty comes from, if you get hit once, you lose your power-ups. Which in practice means if you get hit once, suddenly you're moving slower and dealing less damage and have much smaller hitboxes on your attacks. So it's quite hard to avoid. That was close, almost got hit by that boomerang. Oops, didn't think that would hit me on the way back. So what you want to do, or what I do to fight this guy, is loop the green one with uppercuts while trying to dodge the boomerangs from the pink guy, which you can only throw at preset angles like that. There's a big blind spot directly underneath him. You can do like left or right and then a couple diagonal angles up or down. And yeah, once it's down to just the pink guy, you uppercut him a bunch and he will retreat to whichever of the top corners is further away from you, and then you do this. So thankfully losing your power-ups in this particular boss is not that bad, really. Which is why I play it the way I do. This is not... I don't have the most consistent strat for no damaging that boss, but like, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna heal that by the time it matters. Especially because World 3 is very easy. And I was just grabbing a drink here, if I remember correctly, so I was letting the timer run down. There we go. And that's a common thing I do at the start of the stage, is a lot of the basic enemies, the little guys, they only take 3 hits. So if at the very start of the stage you're kind of surrounded, you want to grab whichever guy's closest to you, probably the left if you're on the player 1 side, and then just do like punch, punch, spin, and the spin will take out the enemy and throw him behind you like that. Very useful technique for clearing space. Okay, so all of these enemies, all of those lanes have a pipe guy on who are very good at attacking horizontally, so I just stay away from them. Oh, and I grabbed a timer power up that just freezes the game for a few seconds. You know how action games are. If this is an action game made before about 1995, you see a little picture of a clock on a power up, it's probably going to freeze the enemies for like 10 seconds. Or I guess add time to the time limit, depending on the game. Again, I don't want to fight this guy head on. I know if I go down there and try and fight that guy, he's just going to slide halfway across the screen and smack me with a pipe. And I guess it would be good for like demonstration purposes if I let him do that to me at some point in the run, but like, oh my god, it's such a pain to get your power-ups back if you get hit once. I don't want to risk it. So yeah, you really just want to stay up above or below. Those guys with the guns are maybe the least threatening enemy in the entire game. They got like a 25-minute startup on their attack. You punch them once and they drop their gun. And even if you just leave them after one punch, they'll just fall down and get KO'd. And if they do eventually shoot, it's just a slow-moving horizontal projectile. You just move above or below it. It's not complicated. So these sections here, it is deceptively easy to mess up and get hit. If they approach you from above or below, you really want to get at an angle where they're approaching you from the side, like that. So you got your big disjointed punches. Bum, bum. Okay. This boss here is the easiest boss in the game. Flies around the edges, and it drops the least threatening enemy in the game every so often. Especially if you haven't been hit yet, it's fine. You've got such big hitboxes on your powered up punches that they're probably going to get clipped by something. Just from you punching the bosses, you know? And even if you do take a hit, and you gotta do the rest of the fight with smaller hitboxes, it's fine. They take so long before they attack, and then if they do attack, like you just saw, it's so easy to avoid, it doesn't matter. There we go. And for some reason they snap to that position and teleport away if there's a little enemy alive when you take out the boss. But yeah, that build there is very much an opportunity to get your health back if you lose health on the previous boss. Oh, I like Stage 2 boss. This one's pretty cool. So yeah, Stage 2 is all about crates. You break the crates open. Sometimes there's enemies inside them. That's about it. That will come into play in the boss. Oh, yeah, doing my little, you know, character action game combo mad there because it's like a really boring, easy cleanup phase. It's funny how I'm not really like a juggle combo person, but like, whoops, shouldn't let that enemy hit me. Because that enemy hit me, I think I'll screw it all. Spend a bomb, hit some enemies into each other, try and get some power-ups, didn't get some power-ups, whatever. But yeah, I'm not normally a juggle combo person, but because this game has so many cleanup periods, which, to be frank, are very boring when you've played the game a million times and you're just gonna get the one credit clear. That, you know, you end up like juggling the enemies and spinning around and stuff like that just for something to do. Okay, so yeah, that enemy fenced me off there, so I couldn't get access to the punch power up, but that's okay, I got it back. Okay, I'm fully powered up again. Anyway, if you land on the ground, you walk left and right, but functionally, there's not really much of a difference between being on the ground and being in the air. You unfortunately have inertia either way. It's not like snappy arcade shmup movement. It's a little bit of slowing down and accelerating when you move. And yeah, the only thing that's really going to hit me here is if I accidentally let that guy with the pipe attack into me, so I just stay away from him, wait for him to get off the same horizontal lane as me, and then attack him from above, in this case. And I'm pretty safe here. Whoops. Accidentally let that enemy hit me. Famous last words, I guess. And yeah, this stage has those little guys chasing me, the little flying American football guys. So I just try not to get directly beneath them. And again, they only fly at a few preset angles, so you can dodge them that way. I do really like enemies that can only move at a bunch of predetermined angles, like, you know, 8-way movement or 16-way movement. I'm gonna start doing that in my own games more. Oops, I accidentally pick up that bomb power-up. I really don't want that. I want to go into this boss fight with a bomb spawned right at the start of the fight, so I messed that one up. And now my goal is to try not to take out the main boss I'm trying to KO, this one here. So I can keep knocking, there we go, so I can keep knocking one enemy into another. And spawning more bomb fragments. And yeah, there I go, do my little spin in the top left to be like, hey look, remember to mention how you got a full bomb. And don't worry, I remember. Okay, so I mess up and immediately lose my power-ups, good job me. The way this boss fight works is drops a bunch of crates that are kind of hard to avoid. You want to stay as low as you can without being in that bottom lane where all the bosses are. And you want to break as many of those crates open as you can. Some of those crates have enemies in, some of those crates have those cans in, which you want to get near to trigger the countdown, because they will blow up and take out any remaining crates or enemies at the top of the screen. And then if the boss jumps near you, just hit him with the Hokuto can, the Fist of the North Star basketball combo. You know, just hold down and mash the attack button. There you go. And yeah, if the boss lands on one of those explosions, it takes a bunch of damage too. So if you play like this, that was very close. That enemy on the right could have taken me out if I took one hit there. And yeah, the only thing you really want to worry about if you play like this is being hit by the falling crates, which don't, as you can see, don't do that much damage. Yeah, a lot of the bosses in this game, they're like, okay, I guess. Like the one with the easy boss, the previous one with the little flying enemies being spawned from the capsules going around the edge of the stage. But that boss there, that's pretty cool, that's pretty fun. I like that one. Same with this stage's boss. Hey. Again, I just want to clear some space. I'm pretty worried about being taken out here. Those medium-sized enemies with the pipes, they take 2 combos, or 2 chains, 6 hits, to take out. So I uppercutted him with the first chain, keep him in the same place, and then he was lined up to take everyone else out. And again, if you're surrounded by enemies at the start of the stage, you probably want to do a punch spin. To hit the nearest enemy to you, spin, throw them behind you. So then, you know, the enemy that's right in front of you is taken out, all the enemies behind you are taken out, and you're only left with a couple more enemies in front of you. Well, you know, on the left, in player 1's case. In here, punch spin, there you go, clear out the bottom row, and everything's clean up. Like, once you've got a feel for this stage, a lot of these rooms are like, the stage starts, punch spin, everything else is trivial until the next stage starts, you know? It's just kind of the nature of these enemy spawn, play until you've completely cleared the wave, next wave spawns kind of things, and again, punch spin, whoop. And after that punch spin, the enemy who's left on the same side of you is one of those guys with a big half-screen attack, so you gotta duck under it. Ah, I fucked up pretty hard there by letting that enemy with the pipe attack me, and I'm suddenly very concerned about losing this life, because I want as many lives as possible for the final boss rush. The 90% of this game's challenge is the final boss rush. Again, punch spin, take out the other enemies on the left. Although in this case, I've also got to watch out for the enemies flying in from the top of the screen. I got very lucky that that enemy with the pipe didn't quite manage to hit me. And you know, I'm so scared and low health that I just take a bomb to clear that up. Yeah, these stages here with the little football player enemies who spawn at the top of the screen, one of the few places that breaks this kind of universal strategy. Because they're like pretty much the only enemies in the game that can attack you from above in a meaningful way. There we go. I should mention that the American version of the game does not have the uppercut or the downward punch. Like if you hold up or down, you still get the default punch. Which, like, you know, makes a couple of things harder to combo because you can't punch an enemy upwards into other enemies, but I gotta say, your normal horizontal punch, you'll probably see this in the final boss fight. At least you'll see it in the final boss fight of most of my run attempts. I don't remember if it happens on this one. Oops, didn't mean to drop that. Your regular sideways punch when you have the power up has a much bigger vertical reach than you would expect. So what I'm trying to do here is see if I can spawn 5 bomb fragments before this boss fight, before this time runs out. And okay, at this point it's not happening. So I'm like, okay, let's actually take out this boss, because if that timer hits 0, okay, if that timer hits 0, I do die. I really don't want to lose a life. So this is another one of my favorite bosses. Love this guy. Feels like something out of the Astro Boy Game Boy Advance game, which is something that reminds me of this game quite a bit in general. So yeah, the big guy. Kind of either hit other enemies into him, or approach him by making him whiff his triple melee attack and then run in like that. And then he does a little spin attack, which, you know, reaches pretty far vertically, but not so far. Pretty far horizontally with his top half, but not in his bottom half. So you kind of want to stay below him. This guy's hitboxes are so big that if you stand on the floor and mash your horizontal attack, you will hit him, like when he's standing on the middle platform. Part of that is because the player attacks are obscenely big, and part of that is because this boss's hurtbox is just so obscenely big, bigger than it looks. It looks huge and it's way bigger in practice, like that. You just, if you press the attack button and you're thinking about the boss, it will take damage. Again, may as well punch some enemies into it. I don't want to get close to that boss in case it hits me with this big punch. And because I don't have my power-ups, I think, you know what? I'll grab that 5th bomb fragment. I'll just spawn a bomb when the next stage starts. That's fine. And here's the final stage. It's a bunch of rooms that don't really matter, and then a big boss rush at the end. Hey. And I still don't have my attack power up. So yeah, you can look at the gloves and things like red means no power up, yellow means you just got the speed one, black means you've just got the power one, and pink, there we go, means you got the speed one and the power one. Oh what? So I didn't notice that one up spawned, I almost didn't grab it. I hadn't noticed that my score had gone over 1 million and that I hadn't spawned the second one up yet. So yeah, once you hit one of those score thresholds, you've really gotta be careful that you don't spawn a one up and let it drift off screen, which has happened to me several times. Yeah, this room's kind of tricky. This is a room where I would spend a bomb if I had one. Make sure you can dismantle this group of enemies. There you are, without getting clipped by them. One of the few levels too where like the timer comes into play. It's kind of tricky to do that within 30 seconds. Okay, this stage here is horrible. This one here is another nightmare. If I spawn a bomb fragment, if I spawn a bomb, I'm using it. There we go. Again, I'm just staying above these enemies. Do not want to fight them in the horizontal lane. There we go. The little bum bum at the end of each, the end of like the stage complete theme is very cute. Or the room complete, area clear, whatever you want to call it. And these guys, if they get near you, they'll do a little sweep attack. There's not that much threat of them doing that. I accidentally picked up a 5th bomb fragment, spawned a bomb there. There was no reason for me to do that. I guess that's a good demonstration of why you don't accidentally want to spawn a bomb when you're already in the cleanup phase, just completely wasted. So what I want to do here, there we go. So I want to punch the enemies into each other in groups of 2, because a 2-enemy combo, there we are, is what spawns a bomb fragment. It doesn't count if your punch actually overlaps both enemies. There you go. It has to be you punch one enemy into one other enemy. There we go. Like, so what I'm doing there, where I'm hitting 2 enemies and each of them hits one individual enemy, that counts as like 2 separate 2-hit combos. I get very greedy here going into the final boss rush, which is a refight of the stage 1 boss, the one that we just fought. This one, because you know, again, I was doing the stages in reverse order. But this refight's quite a bit harder because it's spawning those pipe guys. You really want to stay on top of the pipe guys and make sure that they don't spawn and then jump down to the bottom layer. That becomes, or the bottom level. That makes them very difficult to keep up with. So you just kind of want to clean them out as much as possible. So yeah, my greedy strat here is, what if I get through this entire boss without using a bomb, and then right as the boss dies, what if I can make the boss die at the same time as there being a bomb fragment on the screen, so I can grab a bomb fragment and go into the next boss, which is the hardest boss in the game, with a bomb, and then, you know, hit the hardest boss in the game at the start of the boss fight, and then deal some damage that way. It's very greedy, because if I get hit once, I lose my power-ups and will have no power-ups for the entire rest of the... Okay, I got it. Nice. If I mess that up, I will have no power-ups for the entire rest of the game. Because it's just boss fights from here out. 3 more bosses. So this boss, the hardest boss in the game, it's just a refight of the boss we fought first, except way more health. Whee! Let's do a little spinny, get some damage. Way more health, and if you get hit once, you lose your power-ups and have to limp through the remainder of 3 boss fights. With no health. So you hit them, these things spin around, they then go outwards. They either keep spinning clockwise while they fly outwards, like that, or they turn around and spin counterclockwise while they go outwards, like they did last time, or they sometimes go inwards through the boss and fling out in the opposite direction. It is very hard to avoid these. You're hit. There we go, I got hit. Okay, and now at this point in my head, the run's over. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to limp through 2.5 more boss fights with no damage. Never mind. Yeah, your move speed drops. It becomes very hard to avoid these attacks. Your hitboxes are smaller. The boss will just kind of corner you like that. You deal less damage. It's rough. So yeah, if you want to make this game a lot easier, try and make it through that boss without getting hit. Again, easier said than done. Okay, this is the second to final boss. You can just punch this middle part. The middle part is what actually takes damage. There's 2 strats, which is either you leave the boss like this, and you just punch the middle part a bunch, which will make the outer parts chase you around faster, and then you just kind of dodge them while punching the middle part over and over again. Or you can try and take out all the outer parts. If you don't have the speed power up, it is very hard to take out that last thing. I got very lucky with trying to time that to avoid some space in the middle. I got very lucky there again. But yeah, if you take out all the outer pieces, the boss goes into this phase where all it does is it moves around. I accidentally punched there and got stuck in my punch animation. It's my fault for punching too late. Got a bit greedy. So all the boss does is it goes in a preset movement around the edge of the screen, and every so often it will take a break, it'll diverge from its preset path to slowly move in your direction and then go back to where it was like this. Ooh. And then it goes back to its preset path around the edge of the screen. So you just want to punch it a lot, kind of follow it around, and then occasionally it will do that. You got to watch out for it. I messed up there because again, if you get hit once and lose your power-ups, the hitboxes on your attacks are much smaller, and as you can probably imagine in a game with contact damage, that makes it a lot harder. This boss is very, very easy if you still have your power-ups. I can't believe that hit me. I don't understand the size of that hurt box. That's fascinating, that last hit there. But still, the final boss is pretty easy. Like, it does huge damage, but it's pretty easy to avoid taking damage if you don't mess it up. So all I'm doing at this point is thinking, okay, don't take any hits, carry one more life into the final boss. Nice. And then do my best to not mess up. So at this point, I'll probably go down in one hit here, and then I can take 2 hits on my final life, I would guess. Or, take 1 hit and the second hit game overs me. So, final boss is this guy. Hit him and he goes, whee, like this. You're only going to stay at 1 edge and dodge. If you punch down a bunch of times, punch him into the floor, try messing up, he will, do the old 1 frame of attacking. Like that. Those pipe guys are the real threat here. If you leave the boss alone long enough, he will go into a full attack, wipe out the whole screen, go again. So all I'm really doing here is thinking, okay, how long can I keep this going for? To keep punching him down, get out the way, punch him down, get out the way, while trying to keep the regular enemies at bay. Because if this goes right, it makes the boss look very easy, but there's a million ways it can go wrong. I'm kind of worried about that pipe enemy on the right. Okay, yeah. Boss just got mad, took me out. And there you go, that's it. It was much less painful than it could have been. Yay, and that's just me showing off just how much movement inertia is in the game. If you move, then stop and crouch and repeat, you just slide across the screen. Anyway, that's Funky Jet. Very interesting game. I still don't really know how to describe it. Oh yeah, here's the ending screen, revealing the secret that player 2 is Umihara Kawase in disguise. But yeah, cool game. It's... Some games I love as they are, and some games I love as a thing to think about. It's like, oh, this is really interesting. I want someone to take the ideas from this game and make another game. I guess that someone's gonna be me. It's not like there's people lining up to make Funky Jet likes. But yeah, it is a cool little game. I think it's probably more fun if you just kind of play it until you get a feel for it and you're like, oh, that was nice, and leave. Instead of forcing yourself to get through that boss rush at the end of the game in 1 credit, where taking 1 hit makes you lose all your power-ups. That was a bit rough. But yeah, aside from that, it was cool. Wonderful game. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.